Hey, what's up guys, TotallyDubbed here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the SteelSeries 9H gaming headset. Before getting to this review, I'd like to thank SteelSeries for sending me these out for review. I'd previously reviewed the Siberia V2 Heat Orange model, and therefore I was very much intrigued how the closed-back gaming headset would perform, both in terms of sound quality, in terms of the raw sound quality, soundstage-wise, as it's a closed-back versus open-back debate, and more so the microphone quality. So without further ado, let's get on with this review. So as you can see, this is the box, and within it you get a few things. You get a manual and a sticker, which is always useful. You get the headset itself, which is pretty much given. You get 3 different types of connectors. Now you've got a USB connector, which has the Dolby technology within it. It's the SteelSeries sound card V2 as well, so therefore you can bypass your sound card via this, which is very useful. I personally use this in terms of when it came to analysing the headphone, because it had the most features within it. On it you've got an input and the inputs for the audio mic or via the USB, the micro USB. You've also got a 3.5mm jack, which has a microphone and a line in. This is to be used on Windows operating systems and Windows computers. And finally, we've got a single 3.5mm jack, which has the microphone capabilities. This can be used with any later gen Android device or any iDevice, and can be also used with OS X, so with your Mac computers and whatnot. This is very useful. You also get a cable which has a volume rocker on it and a microphone mute button. The volume rocker is for the headphone volume, which is very useful. It's a reasonably short cable, but it is very useful in terms of plugging into your headphone and having it go down to your pocket. The reason why is because this can be actually used with your mobile via this connection, and with this connection you'll be able to listen to your device and not have any really long dangling wires in your pockets. With that said, you have got an extension cable, and this is a very long extension cable. As you can see, it's quite a lot in my hands. This is very long in terms of going around the back of your PC, around your desk or whatnot, and having loads of room for this, especially when you couple it with this cable. You get a very long cable. So do bear that in mind in terms of cable management, but it's not a problem having more wire rather than less wire. So let's get on with the build quality. As you can see, the accessories that you get are decent, but with that said, the only thing I should mention about the build with the contents of the package is the fact that you don't get any included pouch. And you might be thinking, why would I need a pouch if these are gaming headsets? Well, it's quite simple. If you want to take these to your friend's house, or if you want to take these on a vacation or whatever, and you've got the ability to listen to your own music on your phone, for example, via this connection, but also want to be gaming on, say, your laptop or a friend's computer with this, then you'll be able to do so. Whereas with the Siberia V2, you weren't able to connect it via your device, and therefore it was a bit limited to PC onlys. But in terms of transporting these, you have no sort of pouch, so therefore you're going to have to put these in your bag, and hopefully there's no spills or anything like that that's going to damage the headphones. So it'd be nice if SteelSeries added a little pouch, especially because it had the added functionality of portability. It's not something I would take on the street, but it's definitely something I would put in my bag and take to my friend's house. Now, as I said, the build quality. Now, the build quality is very good. I was very much impressed. At the top, you've got nice solid plastic construction with the SteelSeries logo on there. You've got a right and left indicator on the side over here. You've got an adjustable headband, which clicks like so. You've got a nice sort of pads, ear pads over here with nice little orange stitching, which gives it a nice little look. You've got orange within the ear cups where the drivers sit. You've got a retractable mic, which is very useful, as you can see, comes out like that. And you've got the connection, of course, for your wires, for your inputs. My main problem with the build quality was mainly to do with the adjustable headband. It doesn't seem to have any markings on the side, and therefore it's very hard to see which side is higher or lower. You kind of have to judge and kind of have to give or take. I know it depends on when it's on your head, but it would have been nice if we had like a little 1 or 2 indicator on there, and it gave you a more solid view of what number you're on each side. It would be nice to have that. But apart from that, the build quality is very, very good. It does take a different sort of headband approach over the Siberia V2. Siberia V2 had sort of like a suspension type headband, which I found absolutely lovely, but with that said, it was not very portable. You would not be able to take it, and the risk of it breaking was very, should I say not very high, but was higher than a headset which has a kind of solid construction. So, very much impressed with the build quality. It isn't perfect, and that is because of the microphone. Now the microphone I really, really like, but you'll be able to see, if I place it over here, the microphone doesn't really extend to my lips. It stays a little bit further away. So hopefully you'll be able to see this, but what I'm trying to say is that I wish the microphone came out, say, till here, where my finger is. The Siberia V2 had this, and if you didn't like it, well, you could retract it in a little bit more, or you could bend it, or however you want, but it was nice that it was pretty much in front of your mouth. The reason why I bring this up, and you'll be able to hear it when I take you off to the software side of stuff and I make you listen to the microphone and how it performs, is that when you have music, for example, on your headset, and say you're talking at the same time, you'll be able to hear the music coming from the headphones themselves. And I personally didn't like that. I think it's kind of distracting, and even with the noise cancellation and the noise reduction and whatnot, it still didn't really, perform how I expected it to perform. If the microphone came out a little bit more, it probably would have picked up less noise coming from the back, and therefore it would have given a better sound quality. So overall, I do like the sound quality, and I do like how the microphone does act, but in terms of the build quality, it would have been a better job if SteelSeries had a little longer mic. Now, the sound quality, in fact, it is a very, very good thing. The sound quality I was very much impressed about. Its mids and highs aren't brilliant, but its lows are really, really nice. The reason I mention this is because the Siberia V2's lows were very much, well, almost non-existent, but they weren't there. They didn't extend. It's the biggest thing. They really didn't extend. Whereas with these, the 9H, they really do extend. And they really do give a nice prominent bass. The highs do roll off again, just like the Siberia V2, and the mids again are a little bit veiled. But with that said, the overall sound quality was absolutely superb. I really preferred these over the Siberia V2s, especially because of the added bass that you got, which meant the explosions felt alive rather than kind of muffled. But with that said, this is a closed back headphone, and with a closed back headphone you get a reduced soundstage, and this was the case with the 9H. The Siberia V2 had a nice open sound, therefore when the sound came in from different directions you really had that sort of perception of sound or perception of things coming from different directions. The 9H on the other hand, you didn't get that as much. You did get it, but just not as much as the Siberia V2. And this is to be expected. A closed back design versus an open back design, even when we're talking about headphones and pure music rather than even gaming, we have the same sort of dilemma. You have to sacrifice one for the other. Open back headphones tend to be more airy and therefore have less bass. The closed back headphones seem to be more closed in terms of how their sound is perceived, but have a bit more prominent bass. Of course, I'm not going to go and talk about £1,000 or £1,500 closed back or open back headphones, because those really excel in every single domain. But when we're talking about more affordable prices, especially things which is around £145, for example the 9H, then you are looking at something that is give or take. So it depends on which one you prefer. Personally, I'd rather have the bass and I'd rather have those explosions, and more so the soundstage is really good. It's not bad at all. I'm just pointing it out in comparison to someone which might have a Siberia V2 or might have heard a Siberia V2 or was thinking of getting a Siberia V2. So it's just a little comparison for you guys. So sound quality wise, very good. Great job SteelSeries. The job that you did, really, really impressed with the sound quality. Finally, in terms of showing you these headphones, the comfort. Now the comfort's a big thing when it comes to headset, because you might be gaming for a few hours and it is a big thing. The Siberia V2 was very comfortable, its headband assembly was very good. However, what let it down was its ear pads. The ear pads were very thin, therefore my ear was kind of pressing against the driver. This is not the case with the 9H because, as you can see, the pads are much thicker, which means that you get a much more comfortable experience. But with that said, as I did mention, the Siberia V2 have a different headband assembly and a different headband construction, and that is what lets the 9H down. I did not really like these sort of 4 pads that are up top. Not only are they reasonably hard, but they're also plastic material. Therefore, they're not actually real leather or anything like that, and therefore over time you might get a little bit sweaty, especially on the headband, and they kind of feel like they're digging in. It's not a major thing. The reason I say it's not a major thing, even though comfort is a big thing when it comes to headset, is because I was really gaming for about 3 hours with these on, and it's only then that I really noticed, oh yeah, I'm maybe just reposition the headphones just a little bit, or just give it a little break. So it isn't as comfortable as Siberia V2s, that's granted, but when you couple the ear cups, it's kind of level par. So the ear cups of the 9H were better than the Siberia V2, but the headband, in terms of comfort-wise, was better on the Siberia V2. If you could have both, you're ideally looking at like an ideal situation. So again, give or take, close back, open back, different headband, different cups. Again, the same sort of dilemma. So overall, the comfort was good. It was on par, I would say, with the Siberia V2 because you give or take one or the other. So I really couldn't say one is better than the other, but if I had to pick a winner between the two, it'd be the Siberia V2 simply because of how light it was on my head and how the headband felt like it was weightless. So now guys, I'm going to show you a live demo of the sound quality of these headsets, and more so show you the functionalities of the software on the PC. What you're going to be listening to is purely the headset recorded via Camtasia. It's going to be edited in Sony Vegas. Sound is not going to be touched, and you're going to be hearing different sound quality and whatnot of that, and the headset is going to be the primary source for sound. So I'm going to plug this in now via this USB connection and the extender and whatnot, and you're going to be able to hear it. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay guys, so now we are plugged in and I'm using the 9H headset for recording. As you'll be able to see on Windows, we've got the 9H selected as default device, and as for the playback, we've also got the 9H as well. So I had Snoop Dogg Science playing right there. You'll be able to hear that in just a bit. So as you can see, here is the SteelSeries Engine 3. I must say I am very much impressed with the SteelSeries Engine 3, as primarily it does not conflict with any other software. Now the problem with the Siberia V2, what really let it down was its software, and the reason behind that is because it conflicted with my Logitech gaming software, which is over here, and my Anchor mouse software. So it was a little bit annoying in that respect, but the Engine 3 has no problems. I haven't noticed any sort of problems or any sort of conflicts with it. More so, the software itself looks quite polished. So let's go through the software. You've got the configurations over here, which you can create different sort of configurations, which is very useful, and you can quickly interchange with them via just clicking over here, and you can change them, which is very useful. In terms of the actual software itself, is very self-explanatory. You've also got a live preview button over here, which is very useful. That means if I click it on or off, you'll be able to hear the differences straight away without actually saving it. So you've got, first of all, the Dolby Headphone. As you'll be able to see, it gives you the information of each thing. The Dolby Headphone for me was a bit of a gimmick. Even when I was gaming, I felt the Dolby positioning of the headphone was just a little bit off. Not only was the positioning off, but the sound just sounded kind of like I was in a concert hall in comparison to a room. It just did not sound good, and I had no expectations with Dolby Headphone because I have already tried Dolby Headphone back on my Asus Zonar sound card when I used to have it, and it had the same sort of effect, which I really did not like, and I don't know why anyone would really realistically use it. Maybe if you're watching a film, maybe I could see the Dolby Headphone coming into play, but if you're going to be using it, I wouldn't suggest it, let's put it that way.
The equalizer was actually very useful. I didn't actually use it because I didn't really feel the need to, but it's very nice that you can have different sort of presets, and more so you can adjust the equalizer to your taking. I left it on balance because I am really assessing the sound quality of the headphone out of the box, and more so I like to keep everything on balanced. Even my my AV receiver for my speakers has a straight line balanced preset. Now the mic noise reduction, which I really like. You're going to be able to hear it now. I'm going to just stop talking. Now hopefully you were able to hear a difference. Now I'm going to do the same thing but when I'm talking, and hopefully you'll be able to hear a difference while I'm talking. The reason behind that is because the mic noise reduction really does a great job. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it in a video, and if you're not able to, then hopefully you'll take my word for it, that what it does is reduce static noise. The static noise is sort of thing that you'd hear on a microphone, and with it on, you did not hear this sort of static noise, which was absolutely excellent. So I was really impressed with the mic noise reduction. The auto mic compression was an interesting feature. What I found that with it on is that my voice was much more in line with the music I was listening to, or the game I was playing, which was, in all honesty, exactly as described in terms of what they had over here. You'll be able to hear it now. So what I'm going to do is have it. I'm going to talk and I have music in the background, and that's with it on. And if I switch it off, you might be able to hear my voice a little less, even though I'm speaking at the same volume. So hopefully you were able to hear the difference there. What happens is that when I switch it off, my mic volume turns down lower, even though I haven't touched anything. So it was nice to put the mic volume in line with the actual music volume or game volume that you have. The mic slide tone, which I said I would allude to in the software bit, is really this bit of the headphone. Hopefully you'll be able to see on the camera. It's this mic mute button. So I can mute it fully, which I have it over there, or I can mute it to a certain different volume. And this is really cool because it allows you more customized option, let's put it that way. The mic volume itself as well can be customized. It is not the same as the volume rocker, which is placed over here because it's the volume rocker, but that is the mic volume, which is very useful to control, and I would suggest putting it on maximum because you get the most out of it. So overall, guys, the software was very impressive, and I was very much impressed with that. So to end, guys, I'm going to keep the mic on with the Camtasia recording. I'm very much impressed with the headset, but as you were hopefully able to hear, when it came to the microphone, you can hear background noise. So I'm going to play some music, and you'll be able to hear the background noise coming in, even if I don't speak. Anyway, so you can hear the background noise, and even if, for example, I want to start typing, you're able to hear my mechanical keyboard. Now I know mechanical keyboards are much louder than membrane keyboards, but that said, I wasn't really expecting it to be picked up that much, and unfortunately you do really hear it. Even mouse clicks you can hear. So the mic quality is good, but it is also give or take. I preferred in some respect using my Logitech mic, which is over here for recordings, but for convenience and in terms of improvement over the Siberia V2, it is a huge improvement, and I like where SteelSeries are going with this. Hopefully with the next model they'll really perfect it. So therefore you'll be able to hear for yourselves that the microphone is very good. It's not bad at all. It's not like the Siberia V2, which had a really weird noise cancellation feature which really dampened its performance and made your sound sort of muffled, but the 9H doesn't have that problem, which is great, but it does have those in terms of picking up sound and whatnot. So I'm sure you guys won't be listening to music, but you might be using this for Skype, for example, talking to your friends, and you might listen to music at some point, or your Battlefield volume or whatever game you play volume will be quite loud, and if your friends hear it, it's going to dampen their experience, and therefore it's going to dampen your experience. So hopefully you guys take this review on board. With that said, I've got to say, in terms of value, in terms of what it is, I really, really love it. Now, the Siberia V2 I was a big fan of. I was like, wow, I can see why people love this headset. I can see why it's used by a lot of gamers. But the 9H, in my opinion, takes it to another level. Sound quality, overall build, microphone, software, overall top-notch by SteelSeries. Can't recommend it enough. If you guys are looking for a headset, do not look further than the SteelSeries 9H headset. I have to say I am very impressed, and this is coming from someone which didn't really believe in headsets that much, and more so has his own great headset of headphones and great microphone to pick up anything he wants, and yet still chooses this headset for late night gaming and whatnot. Anyway guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this review. Make sure you check out my written review in the link in the description, and furthermore you'll be able to see my Siberia V2 review over there as well, and purchase links and whatnot will be down there. Amazon UK is one of the links I'll link down, and this review is based on £145. I know it can be found for cheaper, and I know it can be found for more, so I took a midway and a midway sort of reseller and whatnot, and I said £145 is a review price of these headphones, and that's what I'm reviewing them at. So all these comments are based on £145 price tag, which is reasonably high, but as you can see, if they're good comments, it must mean they're doing something good. So anyway guys, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really does help. Favorite, share always helps as well. And yeah, that's about it. I'm doing like a Jimmy Fallon. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Take care. Bye bye.